Hello, everyone out in Facebook land, G Plus land, YouTube land, or wherever land you're at. This is Bella Vasta, and I am here with Kristie from My Philly Pet Care. Kristie, how are you today?
Great, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us. I've seen what an amazing way that you've come, and it's not too often that I get completely inspired by people, let alone it just brings so much excitement for me when I kind of am honored to go on a journey with you. So when we first met, you were not My Philly Pet Care, right?
No, and it has been a journey together, and we owe a lot of our new branding and new way of thinking and new way of doing business to Junk Consulting. So big shout out to you guys. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
But we were Personal Pet Care by Kristie, which is like a mouthful just to say in itself when we started out, and that's kind of when we met, and we were looking to hire an employee. So I came across your branding everywhere, and eventually gave you a call, and that's how we met.
Right, right. So what made you switch? Like, why wasn't it working for you? And so, obviously, your name, Personal Pet Care by Kristie, it's Kristie. So, I'm pretty sure one of the first things they sent to you was, well, if it's Personal Pet Care by Kristie and you're sending me Susie, that doesn't make sense, right?
Exactly, and not only that, but people couldn't even remember my name, which was a real issue. How to spell Christy? Is it with a Y? Is it with an IE? Is it with a C? So it was a big issue, all around. And like you said, it was like you were expecting to get Christy, and when you didn't get Christy, it was a little bit of an alarm for people. That being said, we had no real logo either. So our logo was just the Vistaprint logo, and we'd see it like all over town at dog parks, for picking up your poop, and other pet sitting companies would have it. So we had no real identity, in comparison to the other pet sitting businesses in Philly.
Right. It was very generic. Nothing really stood out. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to do a screen share. So if everyone just holds on really quick here while I uh, figure out the right one to click on here. I'm going to actually show you a screenshot. Woohoo! That's very psychedelic. I'm going to show you a screenshot of what Kristie's old website looked like. This is it right here. It says Personal Pet Care by Kristie. You see there's no logo. The only logo that's really there is the Vistaprint one that we've seen that everybody has, Naps, and Facebook. Like, those are the things that your eye is drawn to. There's
Mhm.
no phone number. There's no call to action. There's kind of nothing, Um, and while it was a great start, because everyone has to start somewhere, gosh, if you saw my first website, which maybe I'll show it to you. Maybe I'll pull it up and show it to you. I've come a long way, too. We all do. It's part of the journey. But this is now what Kristie looks like, Philly Pet Care. So how did you go from Personal Pet Care by Kristie to Philly Pet Care? Like, how did you determine colors? Did you give a lot of thought to colors? How did you come up with the logo? Tell
We
me about that journey.
we did. Again, a lot was to do with job consulting. We had called you, and you had asked us initially what makes us different. And I had told you, we specialize in group dog walks, and we have this amazing in-home daycare service. And you said you can't see that from your website, and that was like a aha moment for me. And then having you as a consultant at that point to bounce ideas off about colors and things like that, we came up with a few big things that we needed. We needed a name that was strong and people could remember, and we needed something that played off of Philly. This is our home area, and it's a very patriotic place to live, and we wanted something that played off of that and that vibe, and we wanted it to be warm. So the colors, you can't really tell from my shirt, but our main colors are red, white, and blue. And, that kind of plays off the patriotism, and our, paw print is very brandable with the star, and so that kind of all fell in place. I mean, we owe a lot to our designer, too, who is Jake at Graphic Designs, and again, found through your service, and he's amazing, and he was able to bring all of those ideas that we had to life and put it into motion for us.
Yeah.
Kind of
So
how
what
the
I'm hearing is basically like you had a team of support that you could bounce ideas off of and really help you create it. Because nowhere in your background do I remember you being a designer, right? Or a
right.
logo
Nope.
person, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. So by being able to call on Jake and go through like a 3-page, questionnaire and say, okay, what kind of brand, what kind of logo do you really want? Being able to go and do research on colors, which I keep saying, and I say this to everyone, that colors have a psychological impact on people. There's a reason why, McDonald's is red and gold or red and yellow, and their booths aren't like cozy for you to stay in for a long time. And there is a reason why a lot of luxury cars are black and silver, not the actual car, but their branding, You don't see like a neon pink sign for Bentley, right?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
not normally. And just the thought of it actually kind of makes you giggle, or it does me. So our colors really are sending a psychological impact. The other thing, too, about colors with brand is that I see people jam a ton of colors into it or have a logo that can't be blown up and then shrunk down really small without losing its integrity. And you want Philly Pet Care to look the same on your t-shirt than it does on your website, that it does on your business cards, that it does on your Facebook page, that it does on an icon, and all of those things. And a simple Vistaprint logo isn't going to cut it for a true, real professional business. So what was I know that you had that aha moment you just said, but do you remember psychologically like how you were feeling about it? Was it scary? Was it kind of like a rebrand of yourself? Because I think a lot of business owners, their business becomes themselves, and they are the business. So you're like, well, what do you mean? It's like I'm asking you to shave your head and get a tattoo on your forehead sometimes, and it can be scary. So do you remember how you kind of felt going through it?
I do. There in the beginning, it was so scary. I could not believe, what you were saying, that you wanted me to like rename my business that I've built since 2006 with,
I'm
my
sure, hey, who the heck do you think you are went through your head at one
very,
point,
very,
right?
very, very nerve-wracking. And to tell me that, the things that were really wrong and really glaring, very scary. And then to start the process of rebuilding, renaming, it is truly like starting your business over again. And in the beginning, very, very scary. But then you get to this point where it becomes like liberating and amazing, and you start to see this like turnaround happening, and it does become, this new branding and this new idea. But in the beginning, very scary, very nerve-wracking. But it's totally possible. It's totally doable, and I think you come out better in the end for it. A new, fresh perspective, a new, way of looking at things, and a new, rejuvenation for what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think as a consumer, I mean, you just look so much more professional. Just those 2 shots that I just showed everybody, you just look that much more professional. It's like you're walking into a ballroom in a ball gown, not your sweatsuit. And
Mm-hmm.
even for me, it's tough for me as a coach because when I was on the phone with you and Dave, your husband, your partner, and I'm like, guys, and you're like, what are you thinking? It's kind of tough to tell people that. And but what you did was so profound because what you did was you guys did some soul searching and you did the things like you said. You said, we're a very patriotic place. I want to play on the name. I want to be timeless. And that's what you guys did. And I think a lot of people, although the title of this interview or whatnot is rebranding, I think this can be a really valuable lesson for those of you who are just starting up or thinking, how do I start my company? You really got to think where your goals are and how big you want to be. Do you just want to be Kristie doing it by yourself all day long? Or are you going to have more people working and walking and sleeping over and doing things with you? Because if you are, then your brand really has to portray that. So Kristie, you were saying that you felt liberated, which I think is a great word. Tell me about the change in perception, like public perception, either networking with people or people calling into you or just your your lead generation? Like, what was the change up?
One of our biggest changes is we work with a lot of apartment buildings in the city. So we have a lot of doormen and a lot of, apartment managers that we try to get into their welcome packet or into their special boxes and their elevators or things like that. And people are just so much more willing to take my material because it's just so much more professional than like anybody else's.
You have a ball gown at the ball. You don't have a sweatsuit.
Exactly, and it really is. I mean, I'm like, one of the few people that are in the welcome packet or on the, if not the only one, on the wall, because it is more of a high-end quality logo and, material that we're putting out there. So that's been a huge change. Also, my clients definitely know who I am now. So my branding's up on the refrigerator now. They have my magnets, they have my calendars, they have my material in their homes, and they refer me a lot more because it's easy to say Philly Pet Care, versus my old name. And our calls, like, we get a lot more serious calls now. Like, before it was a lot of, like, not that we don't get the price shoppers still and all of those kinds of calls, but we get a lot more people that are looking for, serious pet sitting. They're not, they're looking for a dog walker, they're looking for Monday through Friday, or they're looking for vacation visits with specific dates, so we have seen quite a change in our clientele and just the perception all around the city. And I would say in just this short time, I mean, it's been probably a year now to take everything where it was to here. And even, with the new branding, I think people have really, they know who we are. They really do around the city, and it's just taken that little bit of time to get it back out there.
That makes me so exciting. It's a brand you can trust. It's no longer a person, Kristie, that you can trust. And it's cohesive. You're going to see the same logo on your shirt right now that you see on your website, that you see on the magnets, and it's professional. It's not Plumbing by Jay, it's Liberty Plumbing, and you're going to have, as a consumer, two different views. We're always making assumptions about everything, They always say you don't get a second chance or a first impression, and it's true with your company as well. Kristie, so now Kristie is not the whole entire business, and Kristie can actually go and hide while she has workers now, right? It's not like, what do you mean you're not Kristie? Like, it gives you space to live your life and hang out with your son and make, did I see, was it slime you guys were making the other day?
Yeah, flubber. Yeah, but it's great. It does. I mean, this business allows me, I have a 3-year-old. I can, like, totally be a stay-at-home mom and, do my business now and have that, space from, the company. I have my employees now and all this. Again, before Jump Consulting, a year ago, I didn't have employees, and now I have an employee training a new employee, and, we're moving my husband away from being out in the field and being home and being able to focus on the business aspect more, and it's just been an amazing growth in a short amount of time. Plus our sales, I mean, we've increased our rate a good amount after, talking with you and giving ourselves a nice raise, because running our wheels for the price that we were charging just wasn't worth it. And we're doing, less work and making more money, which is, pretty amazing. So it's been all around.
That's what a business is. You created a job with Kristie's Pet Care by Kristie. What was that name again? and then, you created a business that you're an entrepreneur for, that you're the top of the pyramid for. And I really encourage anyone watching this that, gosh, if you are spending so many hours in your business, figure out a way to let your business work for you and not you for it, because life is going to happen, and life is not all about working ourselves to the ground, no matter how much you love those puppies and kittens. Life happens. We have kids, like I will. You have people in your family that need help through health, times, cancer or falls or something. You want to take vacations. You want to have that financial freedom to be able to do it. And you didn't just rebrand the name or the colors or the website or your logo. You rebranded the entire business and how it worked. And my hat off to your girlfriend, you and your husband, because that takes a lot of guts. And I see it all the time, and it's a lot of guts that a lot of people are afraid to take that first step because they're so paralyzed in fear. So I'm so ridiculously proud of you and Dave for having the guts to do it. It's okay to question it. It's totally okay to question it. But I'm here to tell you it works. And she is proof. You are proof. I could go on and on because it gets me so excited, as you can see. But
It
do you have
worked. It
anything?
really worked.
Go on.
I was just going to say, it really does work. If you follow honestly, if you follow what you tell people to do and you just follow the steps, it works. And it's again, I use that word liberating because being a pet sitter, you're so bogged down from the day-to-day things that go on, and it does not have to be like that. It really doesn't. So there is like a way around it. Find a way around it.
For sure. Tell everyone what's your website so that they can go see it. And check it out.
It's at myphillypetcare.com. So myphilly, PHILLY, petcare.com.
See how easy that was to understand, everyone? It's so easy. Mine was, I made a mistake when I first started. It was Bella's House and Pets.com. That's B as in boy, E, blah, 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 blah. And I finally, a couple years ago, got a new URL to redirect it to. It's just callbellas.com. So it's a lot easier for me to say, for you to understand, just like My Philly Pet Care. Duh. Okay, I know how to spell all of those words. So it's something to keep in mind, folks. It can happen. If you're in that rut, you don't have to be in that rut. You just have to put your hand up, and someone, me, anyone, will grab it for you. Any final words, Kristie?
I can't thank Jump Consulting enough. It's really been amazing. It was a big step for us. It seemed like a big chunk of money at the time, and it was a big, a big step. But it's so worth it. And if you're thinking of doing it, I gotta plug you. You gotta jump. You gotta do it. You gotta go for
Just
it.
jump.
Jump.
I feel like if you put in the hip hop, you wanna jump after the. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for this short thing. We hope we inspired you. Go check out Kristie's new awesome rebrand at myphillypetcare.com, or you can reach me at jumpconsulting.net or subscribe to my email newsletter that I only send out when I have something to say. So, thanks for joining us. Talk to you later.